Welcome to the Writing Corner. My name is LD Valencia. Today we're going to be continuing to talk about my upcoming book, The Undying Dragon. It is a new series called A Paladin's Prayer. The series really is going to be focusing on a lot of dragons, but mostly about paladins, these protectors of the queendom and really the world, I guess you could say. Their job is to really try and protect this queendom from dragon attacks. So in the series, we're going to be following a couple of characters, and the plan with the series is really going to be to have several arcs in the series. So the first arc is starting off with the Undying Dragon. We'll be introduced to this terrible threat, and in the books, we will see a new force that is presented that is trying to destroy the queendom, really. And that is going to kind of take us through the first 5 books. As of right now, I'm working on book 4 in the series. I had a buddy ask me, like, oh, well, book 1's coming out, so you're probably working on book 2. And I told him, actually, I'm working on book 4. So as of right now, book 2 is with the editor. Book 3 I finished, and I am kind of like letting it breathe for a little bit. I was really happy with book 3 from beginning to end. Book 2 needed a lot of work before I sent it to the editor. So there was a good bit of time where I was editing, revising, cutting, and doing all the things with book 2. So it ended up being a little bit shorter than I wanted, but there needed to be a lot of revisions, a lot of rewriting, a lot of other stuff, right? And the plan with each book really is to have all the characters kind of like up, like doing their different things, and then really to have them kind of like come together at the end and to be united in whatever the threat or the main villain is of that book, right? And book 2 didn't really do that. They all started off in like nebulous space and doing their different things, and then they kind of ended there. None of them really came together, and it was like, okay, that was a missed opportunity. So I needed to like fix some things and get them back on track and get them to come together and solve some stuff, right? So some things changed, some development happened, some changes happened, all those things, right? So book 2 I was really happy with by the end. Book 3 I liked from beginning to end. And book 4 and 5 I was kind of doing a lot of outlining kind of in tandem, because book 4 is going to be setting up a lot of stuff that book 5 sees come to fruition. So I had to do a little bit of planning on that. So book 4 I was outlining, and then book 5 what I was doing was really just getting like the overarching story. I was like, okay, here's the characters, here's what each of them's doing, and here's like the main storyline of each of the characters at least, and kind of like getting an overall idea. So I wasn't really like outlining per se of like point A through Z, but I was trying to make sure everything was ready to go. So hopefully that gives you kind of some ideas of what the trajectory of the series is going to be for at least the first arc, and you kind of have an idea of what's going to be kind of like some of the main themes. So I can't give too much away because I don't want to spoil anything, and I don't want to give too much away too soon, but really the series is going to be following the paladins as they protect the queendom from this kind of underground secret society evil threat, essentially is what it's going to come down to. And so they are going to be protecting them, the queendom, the people, the nobles, the whole thing, from these threats, from this underground society, this group, right? So the first book we'll see kind of that like foreshadowed, and we kind of get to see what's going on, and then the rest of the books in the series will really kind of see that from beginning to end, right? We get to see how things are connected, we'll get to see how things kind of come to fruition for both the good guys and the bad guys, I guess, and we'll see like all those things, right? Another thing I want to talk about is the cast. So the cast, like I said before in other videos, is going to start off with 4 paladins, really 3, and then you get a little bit of another paladin. Flint being kind of the adopted noble, kind of knight-errant character who is kind of like off in the wind doing his own thing. D'Artagnan, who is promoted, who does not want to be a bureaucrat, who's the perennial soldier, wasn't really happy about being promoted. And then 3, Solus, the Duke, the very high leveled individual who is presented with, hey, you need to take care of your family and protect it, and he makes some choices that could be considered evil by some people, right? So those are the 3 main characters, with Ashriel, the character that is out for revenge. There's some things that happen to her family at the very beginning of the story, and she's out for revenge. And so we get to see a little bit of her storyline, and it might seem like it's not tied, but as the series progresses, you'll see how things come together, because she's out for revenge, and we get to see what really the threat is, and she kind of helps give us a lot of clarity with that, especially in book 2. So in the next several books, we'll have new characters unveiled. So in book 2, a newish character. She's mentioned in book 1, but she doesn't get a lot of screen time, I should say. So you'll get to see more of her. And then in book 3, same thing. Another character will be introduced, Jade and Rini, respectively. They'll get more screen time. They kind of get a lot more spotlight because book 2 does hinge on Jade a lot more, and book 3 does hinge on Rini a lot. Citrine is her full name, but Rini is kind of what she's called by people, and she doesn't really like that. But she is called that for the most part of the series, and so they're really important to the series, and they kind of get introduced, and then they kind of get a lot of the spotlight in those respective books. And then book 4 and 5, no like new characters are introduced, but we get to see more of them. So the cast is going to grow. We'll see who survives, who perishes, who doesn't make it to the next books, and I'm excited to dive into book 4. I am only 3 chapters in, and we'll see how things go with that. So if that sounds interesting to you, it is on pre-sale right now. So if you want to check it out, you can pre-order it on the Amazons, and you can get that for pre-order for 99 cents. It is only 99 cents right now. So check that out right now, because once it launches out, I'll probably end up raising the price back up to I don't know, whatever Amazon said it was, right? So it'll go back up soon. So if that's interesting, definitely hit that like button. Go pre-order it on Amazon so you can get it on September 30th. Thanks so much.